Meet William, a man born a bastard, raised a duke and crowned king through conquest. His story reshaped England, forged modern monarchy, and changed Europe forever. This is the tale of strategy, betrayal, bloodshed, and ambition. Stick around, this isn't your average medieval history lesson. William was born in 1028 in Falaise, Normandy, a region in modern-day France. His mother, Herleva, wasn't a noblewoman, she was a tanner's daughter. His father, Duke Robert of Normandy, never married her. That made William illegitimate, earning him the name William the Bastard. But despite his birth, Duke Robert named him as his sole heir. In 1035, Robert died on a pilgrimage to Jerusalem. William, just 7 years old, inherited a duchy in turmoil. Rebellions broke out. Guardians were murdered. William barely survived plots. Nobles refused to follow a child. Assassins stalked him constantly. Still, he held on, protected by loyal knights and Norman allies. As a teen, he fought to control Normandy by force. In 1047, he defeated a major rebellion at the Battle of Hastings. With his enemies crushed, William strengthened his hold over Normandy. He ruled with discipline, rewarding loyalty and punishing betrayal harshly. He married Matilda of Flanders, gaining powerful allies in northern Europe. Their marriage also produced 10 children, solidifying his dynasty. William proved himself not just a survivor, but a skillful leader. He reformed laws, taxed landowners, and reorganized military command. His reputation grew beyond Normandy, especially in the English court. Across the Channel, England was growing unstable. King Edward, the Confessor of England, had no children. William and Edward were distant cousins. Edward had once lived in Normandy. Around 1051, Edward reportedly promised William the English crown. Harold Godwinson, England's top noble, had other plans. In 1064, Harold supposedly swore loyalty to William while visiting Normandy. Some say it was under duress. William believed it was binding. When Edward died in 1066, Harold seized the throne for himself. William saw this as treachery and a declaration of war. William gathered his nobles and planned an invasion of England. He sought support from the Pope, claiming it was a just war. The Pope agreed and gave William a holy banner. This made it not just a conquest, but a crusade. Nobles and knights flocked to William's side for glory and loot. He built a massive fleet, hundreds of ships to cross the Channel. He trained archers, cavalry and infantry for months in preparation. Meanwhile, Harold faced threats from the north. Vikings were coming. In September 1066, King Harold Hardrada of Norway invaded northern England. Harold Godwinson rushed to fight him, defeating the Vikings at Stamford Bridge. Just days later, William landed on England's southern coast. Harold had no rest. He had to march south again. On October 14th, 1066, the two armies met near Hastings. Harold's men held the high ground in a strong shield wall. William's army included cavalry, archers and infantry. The battle was long, bloody and hard fought. William's cavalry struggled against the English defences at first. Then he used deception, feigning retreat to lure the English out. The trick worked. English lines broke formation and were picked off. Harold was eventually struck down, some say by an arrow to the eye. Leaderless and tired, Harold's army collapsed. William was victorious, but England wasn't conquered yet. He had to claim the throne. He marched slowly, securing towns and punishing resistance. On Christmas Day, 1066, William was crowned King of England. William's rule was challenged immediately. English earls rebelled. He crushed uprisings with brutal efficiency, especially in the north. In 1069, he launched the Harrying of the North. Entire villages were burned, crops destroyed, thousands left to starve. His methods were cruel, but effective. No major rebellions followed. William replaced the Old English nobility with loyal Norman lords. He introduced feudalism, land in exchange for loyalty and military service. Castles were built everywhere to secure his control. These castles weren't just military structures, they were power symbols. The Tower of London is a famous example, begun under William's orders. Castles protected Norman rule and crushed local resistance. They also reshaped England's landscape, both physically and politically. William also changed how land was governed and recorded. In 1085, he commissioned the Domesday Book, a full survey of his kingdom. It listed landowners, tenants, taxes and livestock across England. Nothing like it had ever been done in Europe before. William's conquest transformed English culture, law and language. French became the language of the court, law and nobility. Words like council, tax and jury came from Norman French. English grammar and vocabulary were changed forever. Churches and cathedrals adopted Norman Romanesque styles. Administration grew more centralised, controlled by royal officers. William strengthened monarchy by reducing noble independence. The king, not the barons, was the highest power in the land. In 1087, William was injured during a campaign in northern France. He died from internal injuries, aged about 59. His body was so bloated it burst during his funeral. He left Normandy to his eldest son, Robert. England went to his second son, William Rufus. Though divided, his empire's legacy endured. The Norman dynasty ruled England for nearly a century. Feudalism, castles, and centralised monarchy all trace back to William. William the Conqueror turned from outcast to overlord through relentless will and cunning. His conquest of England shaped law, culture, and language for centuries. Not bad for a man history first knew as William the Bastard.